Welcome back to the Lords of Lore Podcast Network. You're listening to an episode of Unabashed. I'm your host, Matt. I use he, him pronouns. And today I have the pleasure of interviewing Lavender from Breaking the Cycle. How are you?
Okay, I'm excited and nervous.
No need to be nervous. So today we're talking about the Netflix series. I believe it's only on Netflix. Love, Death, and Robots. Um,
Yes.
so yeah, the first thing we do on the show is the elevator pitch. So imagine I'm a person who is completely unaware of this property, and you're trying to convince me to watch it or partake in whatever it may be. So how would you do so?
Okay, so Love, Death, and Robots. It is a series where we gather different artists, illustrators, authors, creators, and each episode is totally different and unrelated, but it all relates in some way to love, death, and robots. It's very similar to Black Mirror and um, almost every sci-fi movie ever and series where like it really challenges the like how society functions and treats people, things that we do that kind of manipulate the nature forces and have us like go against each other and kill each other and how we fall in love and just like the whole, being alive.
Yeah. I actually just until you said it right now, I didn't even clue in that the title related to all of the episodes. I've only seen the first season, but that's completely
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
But I guess you could say that about any story. There's always love, death, and sometimes robots.
yes.
Okay, great. Um, yeah, it's sort of, an anthology series. Is that something you're more attracted to, um, opposed to like an episodic type of series?
I don't know because I truthfully like have never watched anything like this because I related it to Black Mirror and Black Mirror, people who are like really into it find Easter eggs and stuff and see how like it's relates, but it's like the littlest things. Like
Mhm.
you really have to be like rewatching it a million times and all that stuff. But I don't know, I've never experienced anything like it, so I can't really relate to anything. I think that's what makes it really special and like one of my favorite shows. Unfortunately, I was trying to order a shirt that had to do with it, and that's a whole nother story because it didn't come in. So I'm Scooby Doo today.
Nice. Yeah, that's one of my things too, is like when I get into something, I have to get some sort of merch about it, whether it's a shirt or like I love art books of movies. I have like a ton that I've never even read, but I just wanted to own something. So I'm also very frustrated when I can't find merch pertaining to a
Yeah.
specific thing, whether it's like obscure or like they didn't think it was going to do well. Because I think it's coming from like I'm a big Star Wars fan, so
Oh, I've
there's
heard.
merch of that everywhere. There's action
Lucky.
figures and T-shirts, so
Yeah,
going to
unfortunately, the
something like
creator. Oh,
sorry,
sorry.
no, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, unfortunately, the creator hasn't thought that that was important
Yeah,
for our series, my series.
yeah, too obscure, and because it's like the anthology, like it's hard to know like which episodes would have been more popular, which shirts to make in that regard, type of thing. Um,
I don't think that's true for this series because, like, I don't know, how many people that listen to the podcast have actually watched it, but there are certain characters that like people like know. Like they don't have names. Like most of the characters within the series do not have names, and if they
mhm.
do, it's kind of like okay. Like there's the I think it's the nine-tailed coyote, and there's a girl with the messed up lipstick, for example. Like those characters, you'll see it, especially if you watch the series, and you'll be like, oh yeah, I know who that is. That is my show. So
Yeah,
I don't think it's necessarily true, but I'm like
fair enough.
really trying to like I really hope the creator gets it together because I'm very like upset that there's not official merch so I don't have to go through like the dark
Yeah,
market.
sketchy sites.
Yes.
So how did you first like come across this show? Was it just you were scrolling on Netflix, or was it recommended to you?
It probably was recommended like through the Netflix like system because I watched Dark Matter like I mentioned. So when it first came out, I think I watched it like exactly when it first came out. Um I don't remember. I wish I did because I watched so many weird things like that, to be completely honest.
Hmm.
So it probably was like, oh yeah, here's the stuff for you because you're weird. Um, but I'm glad that I found it. It's very incredible.
And do you have a favorite episode? Whether it's
Oh,
first season or second?
oh my gosh. Um, okay, so when I rewatched it, because I had spent 6 hours straight to rewatch it for
Oh
to like
wow.
talk about it with you, because it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
My mom was doing my hair, and she was like, I was trying to watch it with her there, and she's like,
Oh
I
my
can't
goodness.
focus.
That's
Well, I'm
risky. There is some
well, not really. Well,
R-rated
okay,
content.
I okay. To be honest, me and my family were very honest with each other, and
Hmm.
I don't know. It would have that's not what it was. It was just like distracting to do my hair and that. So I was like, okay, we'll do it tomorrow. I'll stay up all day. Like I really need to do this because I don't have any other time. Where I can just like focus with it. Like I don't want to watch it at work because of the risky part. And
Yeah.
so I spent 6 hours. I don't know, like, the second season, I think, disappointed me a little bit. Like, I didn't realize when it came out because it was, like, COVID, so I was, like, just excited that they did a second season. I don't think I really, like, digested what was going on, um, but, oh gosh, I don't know. I hate you for making me think about this. All of it is good, but I think there is a favorite. I think once we talk about it, I'll figure out what my favorite character is
Hmm.
because I can't on the top of my head. Like I'm, as I said, very nervous.
Going back to, yeah, I mean that's fair. There's a lot of great. I've only seen the first season, but um, there like I think it's probably like a three-way tie to me between like what are my favorite episodes. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I want to go back though to what you said earlier about it all sort of relating to love, death, and robots. Do you find that true in the overarching theme, or is there any one of those you're more inclined to, pick up on?
So after the like intro of every episode, it has like a title sequence where it does like the show's symbols or emojis is literally like love, like the heart,
Mhm.
death, so a skull with the bones, and robot, so a robot. And then it'll like I don't know how to describe it, like casino mix and go change into what the episode is about. And then it'll give you the title of it. So you'll kind of know watching it before it starts what is the key element. Like if it's more love, it is more because some episodes have like death, death, death.
Yeah.
So it's like it warns you, but you can tell like watching it. There was one like without getting too much into it before we start, but like there was one about the yogurts and I was rewatching it and I was like, this is go freaking stupid. This is like good in a good way. Like I was like, this
Yeah.
is crazy. And it had a lot of like depth and not as much love because like basically the yogurts were telling everyone what to do because they got I don't know, like
For
mutated and
sorry, for someone who hasn't seen the show, like what you're saying is probably making no sense right
yeah,
now.
like you're like, wait, the yogurt
The
is
yogurt
taking
did what?
over. Yeah, so it got real like crazy with that one that I was like, okay, I don't think this really has like a robot thing, but the yogurts were so smart, so they made everything like
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, I would have to like really explain it from the
Yeah.
beginning.
Oh, I love that. Is there a character in any of the episodes that you felt you most related to?
Oh geez. I hate you. This is making me like super okay. Gosh, I don't know. I mean, I know everybody like relates to the lipstick girl, and I'm calling her. That's literally what she is. She doesn't have a name. She doesn't have a pronoun. Like she's literally the smeared lipstick girl that
Mhm.
dies and ends up killing someone, and is like stuck in a death loop. So I like her, but I definitely would not be. I don't know. When I was watching it because of their death loop. Like, I was like, geez, would I wait to have him explain to me why I just saw him murder someone? Or
Right.
would I like fight back too? So it's like, I don't know. I felt like it was stupid. So I don't want to be her. I really like in the Three Robots, that's the name of the first episode of season one.
Right.
Um what is that robot's name? It's not Bot 3. Oh jeez. Okay, I'm sorry. I
The
would have to like
Xbox
literally.
descendant thing.
No, that's the guy, but it's a woman. So she's the only, or I mean, the robots, they don't really have genders, but the voice is feminine.
Right.
So the feminine sounding robot, she, I like her because like when she's explaining, oh, why would they eat? Like, why were humans eating? Because there's no humans left, and like,
Right.
what's the point of this and that? And so she'll explain it. They all have like databases, so they all like can look, but she's like explaining it, but then she explains it into like a morbid, dark way, and then she snaps out of it, and it's like, oh,
Oh
that's
yeah.
me. That's like me. I'll like explain something and be like, yes, we are in this point in society because of colonization and rape and murder and but at least we have ice cream, like just changing the subject and being that's me, I guess.
Yeah.
Um there's other episode where there's like the guy stuck in his mind because of this like sexy futuristic spider. So I'm like, maybe I'm
Oh,
her.
this is my favorite. Listen, one of my favorite episodes. I sort of love that though, in that the show is kind of that. It's like some of the episodes, especially with the animations, like super lighthearted and like very
Yeah.
bright and whimsical. But the themes that they're going for, obviously, love, death, robots, mostly death.
Hmm.
They're all like
Yes,
darker
someone always
themes.
dies in every episode.
Yeah, or like the world-ending apocalypse or vampires, like whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sort of like that. That sort of exemplifies the sort of being whimsical to like lure people into a darker type of story. But yeah,
Yeah.
going to that episode, the sexy spider thing, that one threw me for a loop. And
Oh, you
that's the
thought she
one
was
with
sexy?
the
Ooh.
no, like just that ending shot where like it turns into like the
Space spider.
yeah, the silhouette of the woman into like the spider, and then he's just like screaming.
Literally.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
dark.
Yeah.
Very much reminiscent of like being stuck in the simulation. That whole narrative.
Hey, maybe we're all there. Oh, it's kind of
Yeah,
like the Matrix because when he
right.
like what's woken up and saw like how the process of the human race is now is gross. So hey, kind of similar.
So, what would
Huh.
you say the theme behind that specific episode was? Was it love, death, or robots?
Well, she okay, I'm gonna give the spider doesn't have a gender, I don't think, but it had a feminine sounding voice. I'm gonna use
Yeah,
she
she
pronouns.
portrayed a woman in her
Yes.
projection type of thing. Yeah,
Exactly. So I think because she repeats that cycle with everyone that gets stuck there, like there's nothing she can do to help them. Like once
right.
you're stuck there, you're stuck there, especially because it explained in the episode that where you are, Earth is like 200 years out already past. Like
Hmm.
everyone you know is dead, everyone you love, all of that. No one's going to look for you. No one knows where you are. So with her, she's done it so many times. I think it actually hurts her. But I think I would have killed them. I would have never even let them suffer in that way. And I
Oh
know that's
wow.
the unethical thing to do, but I took ethics. Like I'm in nursing school, so I had to take ethics. And I would argue like that's the best thing because she's doing it like over and over and over. She can't feed them. Like they're stuck in a sleep. You could see that he's deteriorating. Like how many more cycles? We don't even know what cycle that was. That could have been
Right.
like trial 365. Like
Yeah.
we don't know. So I would have killed them. I wouldn't even like put them through that. I would have like let them go through like one simulation to be at peace where like they think, oh, I grow old and I die, and then I actually kill them because she has to eat something. So
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Oh, I
I
like
mean,
that the ending of that answer. But yeah, no, I feel like, especially for that episode, it's totally like love. And she like just feels so bad for them that she's going like
mhm.
way out of her way to, ease their transition into like the next life. So I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
I mean, he had like two, I think, partners that are already dead, and there's a lot of death. Like for her, it's probably really traumatic because it's a lot of people who are like going to die anyway, no matter what she does for them.
Right.
And I mean, I guess it's obviously robots because they're on a ship and like technology is so advanced, but it's
Right.
more focused on the love and the death aspect.
Hmm. So I want to talk about some of your favorite moments then throughout the show. I know picking a favorite episode was tough, but do you have any
Yeah.
favorite moments?
Oh Jesus. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no worries.
Uh, ooh. Okay, so there is. Oh, gosh. Okay, I'm gonna give you a few favorite ones. So Sony's Edge, that is episode 4. That's also a very popular one, I would say. And I like the ending because it really tripped me up. Like I thought Sony was dead, but I think it focused a lot on I don't know if you're familiar with the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo Steve Larson trilogy.
No, I'm not.
Oh jeez, you got to get on that.
I think I
Oh,
own them,
that.
but I haven't read them. Yeah.
Oh, so you suck. Okay, got it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Um
Yeah.
if you decide to watch the movies, only watch the Swedish version. The
Okay.
American versions are not as like on point, but that's how usually American versions are of things.
Hmm.
Um, it's so good. I've read all of it. I own all of it because oh gosh, oh I bet they have merch. Okay, let me stop. um, so it's kind of in relation to that, like because Sony basically was kidnapped like literally a year before and was savagely like raped and basically sex trafficked. And when they were done with her, they sliced up her body, like mutilated her body in a very like bad way. So when her friends, well, I don't even know if they were friends before. I wish, oh gosh, that's the thing about the series. I do wish that certain times when it comes to certain character situations, there was like a backstory or
Hmm.
like part one, part two, but that would defeat the whole process of the whole thing.
Right.
But so they found her and they could only save like her brain, her spinal cord, and her body, I think, even though it was really sliced up, but the rest of her was like really damaged. So the monster, I don't, that's the thing. I wish they would explain like how those monsters are, or if they created them or found them. But the monster is like really linked to her, where it's like she's basically in the monster.
Right.
Like, so it's that one is, that just like, you're just like, it just shocks you. You're like, whoa. And it shows how bad she is and like the whole condition of how people treat people who are women because Sony's Edge or Sunny's Edge,
Yeah.
the
I
way
think
that
it's Sunny, but whatever. It doesn't matter.
yeah, Sunny's Edge, the way she comes off, so she's very like masculine presenting, but yeah, just that whole ideal around it. I just loved it. I thought it was well put. The graphics were incredible because everybody has, well, everyone who's cool has like these tattoos that glow in the dark. And so for Sony, it's like on her chest and it's a python. And so that's her like symbol. I think that's one of the symbols in the title sequence. I think
Mm.
it's like a snake and of course death.
Yeah.
And I just love like even when her monster was battling, like I thought it was the end the first time watching it, but then it's like it was waiting or she was waiting because Sony is the
Right.
monster. So she
Yeah.
was waiting and literally burrowed her head into the monster. I was like, oh, that's so cool. So I would be that. I would be that character. Yeah. I would eat your heart out. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, no, I love that episode as well. Just like I think maybe it's at the end of the episode where they explain like why she's so good at what she does, and it's because it's her
Hmm.
life on the line every time, whereas everybody
Literally.
else sort of is removed from what's going
And
on.
everyone else is a man too. So hey, that
Yeah.
misogyny because the guy was like so rude to her, like sexual gestures and like even the guy that was trying to buy the monster from her and she was like no. Her friends were like no, like dude, what? Why would we purposely lose the fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, any other favorite moments from other episodes?
Okay. There is an episode. I'm trying to look for the title. besides the when the yogurt took over, because we talked about that a little bit. Sucker of Souls, The Witness. Oh, The Witness is the title of the girl with the messed
Right.
up
Yeah.
lipstick. Dumb Fish Night. Hoping can. Ooh, alternate histories. I
Okay.
freaking love that one. That's episode 15. Because you know how everyone says like, oh, if I was in blah blah blah, I would have stopped people who created slavery. I would have stopped Hitler, blah blah blah. So it literally shows you that because they said it's the most popular request of death is for Adolf Hitler in the sequence. So it shows you like
Oh.
seven of the most popular likely timelines. And it's so funny. I think my favorite timeline is like when he has an orgy. So it like creates a, yeah. So it's like, and he dies having an orgy.
Right.
And so then it goes also because it's like, I don't think the war still happened with that one and like the first person that goes on the moon is it actually references a real sex worker. She is a retired porn star, Janine Lindemuller Mulder, but she's
Okay.
American. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. um
Oh, first woman on the moon sequence
yeah,
thing. Yeah.
and
Okay.
then it's like in the
Interesting.
year 1969 and I was like, oh, they're
Uh.
corny, they're so corny. But I thought that was so funny because people say that all the time, and it's like, well, okay, we'll show you what it would look like. But then the machine starts to glitch and stuff because one of the timelines like creates a whole paradox, weird thing.
Yeah. Where
So
he saves
yeah,
himself from the future. So
yeah,
stupid. Yeah. I actually that's one of the episodes. Luca on the podcast, not his favorite. Like it's sort of a
why?
divisive episode. And another one of my friends said the same thing as well. I didn't mind it. I thought it was funny, but I guess
Why? What's the divisiveness? I'm
I think
curious.
it's just like silly, not like controversial, but just like
Oh,
it's
okay.
silly and didn't fit in line with the other stuff. I think it's pretty similar in tone though to like the yogurt one. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
but I
well, I
feel
guess
like the
that's
other
yeah.
episodes go like they dig a little bit deeper.
I think it's like maybe put there specifically kind of like to make because while I'm watching it, I was laughing. So kind of like, okay, you just watched a whole bunch of people die savagely and didn't get a
Right,
happy ending. Here's something like stupid and funny.
right. Yeah, there's a bit of levity in the otherwise darker type of series.
And yeah.
Speaking of laughing, maybe the opposite, I guess, of that. Has this ever made you cry?
I don't know. See, I'm trying to think about the first time I watched it. I think maybe I teared up a little bit, but I can't remember which episode it would have been. Ah, that is like I think I just like there would had to definitely be one of the episodes where I literally paused it and had to take a moment because I was like, this
Okay.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Like this is too much. Like I need a moment. Like I don't know if I cried because I know it's not real, but I don't know. I get what you mean. Like some things just definitely pull on your heart, and it's like, okay, whoa. I don't think I cried.
Do you have something at all that you hate about the property, or maybe like a specific episode that's not your favorite?
Yes. So people might dislike my opinion of this, but
Okay.
which episode is it? Hold on, I gotta look. I'm like, gross. Hate this. I think it's season 2 because I didn't like everything. Oh, here we are. Episode 7, season 2, called Life Hutch. I do not like Michael B. Jordan. I don't think he's a talented actor. I think he needs a lot of work. He's a hot. Yeah, he's hot. That Amazon. I don't know if like you guys are able to see that Amazon commercial with him.
No, I don't think we get that here, or at
Oh,
least I haven't
jeez.
seen it. Yeah.
I gotta send it to you. It's basically where he's like an echo. Like they were like, oh, let's make the echo look like Michael B. Jordan. So like he's shirtless and hot, and like everyone who has the echo is like, Michael, turn
Like
on
the
the lights.
car?
No, like oh no, like an Amazon Echo. Like you know
Oh,
how there's
oh,
a
oh, oh,
yeah, yeah,
oh,
yeah,
oh.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, freaking hate Jeff, by the way. So
Yeah.
not trying to boost that crap.
No.
Um, but yeah, he just it was so boring. Like I was just watching it like, God, can they just kill him already? He didn't die though. And
Oh.
it's not his fault that he's like an annoying actor to me. Like I watched him in Creed. I of course watched Black Panther. It's just like every time he opens his mouth, and I'm not the only one that thinks this.
No,
A
you're
lot
definitely
of
not. Yeah.
and when he opens his mouth, it's like, oh my god, shut up, just be
Yeah.
a pretty face.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the main thing is he only does that one thing with his mouth where he like tucks his lip in. Yo, is this your king? Like that fucking yeah, I can't I can't do it. But he's great in Black Panther, but I haven't
Oh
seen
yeah,
enough of his other work to make a
I've seen enough. I saw that thing he was in with his name's not Troy Bolton, Zac Efron. Oh
oh
jeez.
yeah.
With Zac Efron, and I saw I think Creed 1 and 2. I didn't see the third one, and I saw something else. But he's cute, so that's called
Yeah.
equality. I can judge him based on more than his looks.
Hmm. Um, has this property helped you with anything? Maybe something you were dealing with your life. Was there one sort of reference you could pull by looking at this series and being like, oh yeah, this is sort of reminiscent of that episode or anything like that?
um, Let me see. I'm sorry. Looking through is making me laugh. My notes are stupid. Oh, geez. Okay. Freaking season 2, episode 1, automated customer service. Oh, you haven't made the season 2, so you
No,
have
not
no
yet. Yeah.
idea. Yeah, that one, if you watch anything in season 2, that one will make you be like, oh yeah, that's freaking hilarious. um Basically, it's like, I think they're in a retirement community, but it's like literally robots do everything. They walk for people, like people are sleeping and the robots are driving. Like they don't have to do anything. So it's this older woman, and she has like a Roomba type of like floor cleaning robot, and it's like starting to get aggressive, and she accidentally activated this like attack every living thing feature, and I'm like, why would someone put that feature in there? And that's like the main thing. Like, you had one job.
Yeah.
and, and then it like gets to a point where she is doing all these things just to avoid it. It like buzzes off her dog's hair, buzzes off her hair, like literally makes some type of like force thing the robot does that blows up every little thing, like living thing, or even things that it thinks is living, like statues of animals. It blows up. It's just
Ah,
like
okay.
trying to get rid of everything. And so she's on customer service, and customer service is like, oh, you must have activated the kill switch, blah blah blah. And so the way customer service is talking to her, it's almost like it like can tell, like it's like, oh, I detect aggression in your voice. I'll wait till you get your shit together.
Oh
I'm like,
no.
what? I'm like, imagine. But sometimes like customer service gets to a point, like, you don't, like, imagine if we had to like wait on the police customer service wise and it did
Ah,
that crap.
right.
Like, yeah, we would be freaking anarchy. But she got away. I like her. I would be her, because like she definitely like took care of herself, because it was like, no, I almost thought she wasn't gonna make it. But she's like a baddie. So I would definitely be her.
um
Oh,
yeah.
I guess I relate to that. Did I answer the question?
Yeah, for sure. Like that helped you deal with something in your own life?
Uh, sure.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, let
Being
me
more
let me
patient with
look for
customer
one.
service is a fine answer, I think.
Oh no, I'm always like that. Well, my mom like was a server in restaurants, so I'm always
Mhm.
like, I always tip. I'm always patient. Like, unless they're like rude to me, that's the only time I get rude.
Right.
Mm, damn. Oh, you know what? I like shapeshifters. I don't season 1,
Oh,
episode 12, the
yeah.
wolves. I thought you would like that one because you like wolves.
Hey, like, yeah, I watched Twilight once. I'm not a
I'm not a
werewolf
wolf
stan.
fanatic. But that one was so like, I'm not pro war. So I really was like, ooh, yeah, look at them treating them like second class citizens. That's
Mhm.
such an American thing to do.
Yeah, sure is.
Freaking don't even know how to act. But I liked that whole like, it just gave a different look. It was so cool how they literally rip off their skin and then
Yeah.
their skin comes back. I was like, oh damn. I
Yeah, and I
love
like the
that.
sort of like unspoken understanding between the American one and then the other one he fights off against. I like how
Hmm.
like they don't even speak at one point. It's just like they understand they gotta like go at each other. Yeah,
Oh
no, that
yeah,
was a
he done
cool episode.
challenged them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely good. And then I think, okay, the last one that I think I relate to, um, geez, what is it called? Um, mm, oh, Good Hunting, episode 10.
Oh, that's my yes, again, one of my top three.
I
Um,
thought you would like that one too.
yeah, that's definitely like definitely up there for me.
Yeah, I love that one. I think like the way when she was explaining to the son, like, no, my mom is not doing anything to these people. They're
Right.
trying to claim her, they're trying to control her. And I guess as an individual that identifies and is a woman, um, I was like, yeah, that's real. Like, I know a lot of women who have been in abusive situations, and like that is how people will treat you. Like, oh, you're mine, so you're gonna do what I want when you want.
Right.
And she didn't have any real skills and stuff. She wasn't at the school because she's like half like, or she actually is fully magical and stuff. So the only thing she could think to do is, oh, I guess I should sell my body to survive. And nothing's wrong with sex work. I'm pro sex work. I just want more protection laws and stuff for people who do sex work.
Right.
um, but in her case, it was something she didn't want to do, that she was forced into doing to survive. And just like what happened to her body reminds me of, I don't know if you're familiar with American Horror Stories.
No.
Um, oh man, dude, you got a lot. You need to start taking notes. You got a lot to do. Okay. So there's American Horror Stories, and there's a season called Freak Show. So one of the
Okay.
characters.
This is the one with Lady Gaga, right?
Okay, it's not just about her.
Okay. Well, I don't know. But
No,
I'm
but oh,
aware of
that's
it. It
another series
exists.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, so it's another series that's kind of like Dark Matter, where it all relates because the creator uses the same characters. And so the theory of the show is that it's like their lives, like they're all like the lives that they have, like reincarnation and stuff.
Oh, like he uses the
But
same actors as.
yeah, the
Oh,
exact
okay,
same
gotcha.
actors that are
Cool.
totally different like characters. But it's not really like a reincarnation because it's, well, okay, that's another conversation. But um so yeah, one of the freak show things, her legs were mutilated, so she became a freak,
Okay.
sort of, quote unquote. And so for the what is she called?
Hula Jin.
Huli Jing,
Yeah.
the nine-tailed Ji Wu Weho. I'm sorry, pronunciations. I'm so sorry,
Yeah,
but
I'm not
yeah,
sure.
I'm not sure, but yeah, I thought that was incredible. I was like, that's kind of me. There's some instances, like as a woman, I've had to be aggressive or learn techniques in order to protect myself in cases where, like, thankfully nothing has happened to me, but I've had to prepare myself in case something happens to me. And so, like, she literally wanted to transform her body into a weapon to avenge people, protect other people like her and their culture, because it was being whitewashed out and colonized, and their people had no like hope. So she became their hero. She went from being like a feared creature, and that was, her entire magical community was wiped out, to her like literally protecting the people that probably feared her and wanted her dead.
Yeah,
So
I
I
think
was
that's like
like,
the my favorite part of that episode is just the like her transition going from like having her mother like taken from her essentially, um,
mhm.
and then her powers taken away. It sort of, you know, um alludes to like women having sort of part of themselves taken away by patriarchal societies and then working to have to get that back. And just the transition of like going from this like powerful creature to being like the lowest of the low and then regaining that power
Right.
through like
Through like,
alternate memes, like, yeah, through the
yeah.
bad cards she was dealt, taking those and then flipping
Seriously.
it on their head type of thing. And then yeah, at the end when she's like, perfect form, what would you even call it? Like clockwork, nine-tailed fox type of thing.
Machine,
So cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
Machina on like steroids. But I love that one because, oh man, so it kind of relates, I would say, oh gosh, it was just on the tip of my tongue, but it relates a lot to when she's transforming. Okay, my brain just forgot, but it's also another point I have.
Okay.
um the guy, did I write his name? Yen. Oh, I was like, I wonder why he didn't say that he wanted to be with her, and like, they could have had their own family and stuff. But I guess I really respect Yen because he really understood, like when she was talking, he listened to her and
Mhm.
understood that she didn't want to be owned by anyone.
Right.
Even if she had feelings for Yen or whatever, he didn't put his feelings before hers.
Yeah,
And
and he's
yeah,
not like, there's no like sexual tension between the two of them or like ulterior motives on his end. It's just like, you're my friend, so I'm helping you, even if it's
yeah,
like
because
a
Yen was
weird
hot.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, he could get it. So I was like, girl, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But I just he really I know like saying a cartoon can get it, but he respected her, and that's all it was, like a friendship regardless. Because I wonder if she can untransform. I mean, she probably can, but I think it's just it makes her happy because like hunting was supposed to help her also, like that was
Right.
something she did in her magical form. So she's hunting the colonizers. That's good protein right there.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely one of my favorite. And then my third favorite, I think, is like Zima Blue, which is just, yeah, I think
Oh,
I guess I gravitate more towards like the cell shaded hand drawn animation ones.
hmm,
Um,
yeah. Zima Blue was so like it was so funny because it's like um privilege at its peak, wealth at its peak, just like rumors at his peak, like celebrities, like how that world is, because everyone had their rumors about how he was like came to be, and it's
mhm.
like no, he was just a pool cleaner.
Yeah.
And then he got updated over time, and I loved how the person that created him was a black girl, like a
Yeah.
young black girl, and like all her family, everyone in her family, all her black family, like that was passed down to like upgraded him, so that whole knowledge was passed down. And even like he knew in the end, like this is where I want to like get back to my roots of being a pool cleaner.
Yeah. Yeah, that's such a beautiful scene, like him disassembling himself.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good episode.
Okay, so we're gonna get into the trial by fire here. So yeah, these will be like shorter form questions, but feel free to take your time to answer them. First one up is: would you get a tattoo, or do you have any tattoos, and would you get one of this property?
Gosh, I just talked to someone about that. Like I saw someone with this beautiful butterfly tattoo. Um, because butterflies my theme. And no, I don't have any tattoos. I am an Aquarius, which means nothing about tattoos, but I just changed my mind a lot.
Okay.
I don't know anything that would put permanently on my body, but if I had a LDR themed tattoo, man, it probably would be like all the symbols that have to
Yeah.
do with the titles. Like it just makes sense because it's so like every title sequence is different. And like when I see it, I know exactly what episode it is, or I have an idea
Okay.
of what it is.
Right.
Because it would be too much to have like every character's face. Maybe like my favorite character, an episode I really like. I have no idea. Like I think the titles would be the symbols, not the actual words. I think that would be like the easiest
Yeah.
um tattoos to do.
Yeah. No, definitely like the skull heart and then the robot would be like pretty
Yeah.
like a simple design that you could pull off for sure. Um,
Yeah.
okay, so going to move into the dating world here. So if you go on a first date, how likely is it that you're going to bring up this show? Like scale 1 to 10.
Gosh, the date would have to be really boring. Then I would have to find something to talk about. I'd be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, do you watch Love, Death, and Robots?" And they say no. I'm like, "Oh, well, let me tell you."
Okay. Or what if so I guess like you think it's obscure enough that like if you're diving into this bag to pull from, that's a bad sign. So that's what you're saying?
Yeah, because like,
Okay.
why would that be a first date topic?
Okay, so maybe like imagine you go and you see they have that tattoo we were just talking about.
Oof,
Would
they're
you
getting it.
engage at that point?
They're getting it. They won. They done got points galore. Like I'm like,
Okay.
oh, you watch what? You know about that? Oh, let's skip the date. We're
Yeah.
going home.
Uh yeah, I guess it's tough too, right? Being like an anthology, like everything you're getting is like in a short amount of time and like that's
Yeah,
all you're getting of it. It's like a one-off. So it's hard to really like be like, this is a super important thing to me, this one episode of this TV show. That's
yeah.
sort of like, yeah, really obscure. But with that being said, in your normal life, like outside of the dating world, how often do you talk about it?
Jeez, I don't even have a dating life, so
Well, I had pandemic and everything. It's tough.
no, just normal life. Don't have a dating life. But anyway, since you're embarrassing me and letting everyone know I'm single and alone forever, love that for me. Yeah, I mean, it comes up in conversation, like, because people always ask, like, oh, what do you watch? Because, like, Netflix only has so much, especially through the pandemic. I'm sure everyone has almost fully watched everything that Netflix has to offer. And then people who use like a VPN to watch other countries'
Right.
Netflixes is also like, I have finished that as well. Um, so yeah, it comes up in conversation if it's like because I watch like B stars and all that stuff. So anything like with that, it's like once you find out someone watches one thing, you're like, oh, did you watch this? Did you watch
Right.
that? And Love, Death, and Robots is really one of those like series that I think everyone can kind of like.
Yeah, there's like an episode for everyone in there, I think.
Yeah,
Okay, going back to dating. Let's say
hate
you
you.
started seeing someone and it didn't come up on your first date because the conversation was really good and you didn't need to dive into this bag. But then you're like, hey, can we watch one of my favorite shows on Netflix tonight? And they're like,
Hmm.
oh, Love, Death, Robots. I hate that show. Is that a deal breaker?
No, because it's just a show.
It's just a show.
I mean, I watched so many things like that are kind of weird, kind of dark. Like one of my other favorite series is The End of the Fucking World. I've watched that so many times through and through. And if you haven't watched that, because clearly you haven't watched a lot
Nope.
of things, add that to your list. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's like we can watch something else, like, but if they like me, they'll probably watch
Okay, so
it.
how about this? What if they're like, "Oh, I love Death and Robots," and then you're like, "Oh, cool, this is my favorite episode," and they're like, "That sucks. That's the worst one."
Okay, I'll be like, yeah, I guess it
That's
does
fine.
suck. So yeah, I
Okay, so you're
I
pretty
guess I'm
easygoing
too
then.
yeah I'm too easygoing I guess because I'm not gonna argue like I'm not. I remember the guy that you had who did Gravity Falls. He was he was intense about it. He was real
Yeah.
intense. I was like, oof, okay, I'm scared to know who your partner is. All
Oh
right.
no, Cav's the best. It's funny. Like the reason I asked this question is like I like to get a glimpse into like how important or how
Hmm.
much of your personality is a result of consuming this media or your happiness, I guess. But it's tougher to do again with an anthology series. It's like it's tougher to
Yeah.
say like this thing
Oh.
is means so much to me when there can be like hit or miss. Even the second
Hmm.
season being hit or miss is like.
Second season is definitely not my favorite.
Mhm.
When I rewatched it, I realized that the first season, I mean, it's hard to like up the first, but I feel like they could have done better. And it was less episodes too. So that was also the disappointing factor. But,
Right.
COVID really messed up a lot of things. So hopefully the third season is like way better.
If you could pick one episode to live in the world of, which one would you
Oh,
choose?
Jesus. Give me 1 second to look through my notes.
Yeah, no
Because if
worries.
I'm going to live anywhere, I want to survive.
Oh, that's a good point. I think just because it looks cool, I'd probably choose the Good Hunting episode,
Oh,
or
yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't want to live in a world ran by yogurt. That would suck.
Not if you're in Ohio.
That's very true.
But the yogurt ended up leaving, so. The Ice Age episode. Oh,
Oh, you
that's
would
what I
like to
wanted
be
to
a
talk
tiny
about.
person in the in a little
No, hell
freezer?
no. Hell no. Toby Maguire and Mary Elizabeth. So Toby Maguire is my favorite Spider-Man next to um
It's not Toby
the
Maguire, is it?
Afro. Yes, it is. It's his name. I googled it for this
Like this
episode with
guy
you. I
here
googled
behind
it.
me? I
I
think
can't see it. I mean, that's just a white mouth.
yeah,
So
that's very true. I think it's Topher Grace, the guy who plays Eric in the
no,
70s show. I could be totally wrong.
no, but that's the guy. No, that's no. They look alike. They look alike. Oh, Topher Grace is the guy in the episode. They look alike. That's I confused them. You're right. Okay, see, when white
No, yeah, I
people
see
look
what you're
alike,
saying.
it's
They do,
just
yeah.
yeah, they could be like cousins. They probably are. They probably are like distantly related. They don't even know. Okay, well, you corrected me because you're right. I'm sorry. And
Well,
Mary
actually,
Elizabeth,
it's Topher Grace. Just kidding.
yeah, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and I remember her from Sky High. But yeah,
Uh,
I did watch the 70s show, so I'm not totally out of the loop. But yeah, I was like, oh, these are such cool people. Because I think he's also in an episode of Dark Matter, the most recent season. And
okay.
yeah, so I was like, okay, I wouldn't want to be in that world necessarily, like because you can only see what happens in their kitchen.
Okay.
Um, so I think it's just like a normal like 21st century world. But I was really mad at them because when I rewatched it, I realized like I think they're seeing what's going to happen.
Hmm.
And instead of doing something and telling someone, they're literally watching it over and over and over and got like emotionally attached to the freezer.
Well, oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, because the freezer is from the 1930s. So it's like a watered ice. Yeah, it's because the one that was from the 20s, it's like kind of similar. And back then it was $520 and now it's like 7K. But I just thought that was fascinating how it didn't click to them like, dude, this is probably showing you what's going to happen. And
Oh,
you're
you're
instead
talking
of
about like
doing
going to happen in the real world.
yeah,
Well, I mean,
because they
okay.
said,
So
"Oh, look at the Renaissance. Oh, look at the woolly
yeah.
mammoth and the cavemen and the dinosaurs." Because, like, remember when it got bad with like the war and stuff, and then
Hmm.
like just how it got futuristic into a point where I think they've reached enlightenment, and then like everything disappeared. I'm like, so
Yeah.
you guys aren't going to do anything about this? But
Well, what
honestly,
would
the
you
way
do
our
like if that was you?
no, but
If you
our
saw the world
government
history
sucks.
play
Our
out.
government sucks. Like they're probably gonna just steal the refrigerator and like kill them, or if it was me, like kill us and be like, yeah, you saw nothing.
But do you think
Because
people would believe you if you told them you had a mini
hell no,
civilization going
hell
on?
no. Because what was that with that the life at the museum when the museum comes to life and shit? Like no one
Yeah,
would
yeah, with
believe that.
yeah,
No one, they'll be like, oh, so we need to take you to the crazy house. Got it.
right.
Yeah, but like that's something you keep to yourself. But I don't know. They could have like created some type of like how people have bunkers and stuff, like, and told people like, hey, prepare for the end of the world, because literally they would need to prepare for the end of the world. But because of their age and that time frame, it probably wouldn't happen for like they'll probably be dead by the time that
Yeah.
happens. Which is like, yeah, but you still had the freaking secret and you didn't tell anyone. They could like even post it online because everything on the internet stays. They could do that and someone look it up and be like, oh my gosh. But
Yeah, maybe that's you'd like, Nostradamus, maybe he just had a freezer with, all these things playing out, and that's how he made his prophecies.
yeah, I would like to know who the owner of the fridge was before them, honestly, and be like, did you know about this?
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be weird. Or like maybe just no one was using it the entire time and that's how it grew, these small people. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be on the Suits planet. That was pretty sad. Like, it was good, but it was like when you realize they're on the planet. I don't think it's Earth, but it's like all these little bubbles of people surviving in there. I
Oh,
was like, ugh.
yeah. No, no, that one's terrifying. Yeah. None of that.
um, Good hunting. I don't want to be basic like you.
Thanks.
Fish night. I think it's just a normal world that I honestly, if you didn't have water in that episode, I don't think those spirits would have came back. But that's too much. Like when a spirit can kill you, I watched too
Yeah.
much Supernatural to be okay with that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Um, oh, a helping hand. That was like normal, but like she,
Oh, yeah.
no, she freaking was a badass. I was like, no, thank you. Just kill me. I'd rather just die. Like, why would I rip off my own hand? Um, I thought Blind Spot was pretty cool because like your brain is saved on a file, so like you don't technically die as a robot. Zima Blue's world seemed too superficial.
That's fair.
Yeah.
What's Blind Spot again? I can't remember.
Blind Spot is like these vigilante robots that
Oh,
were
yeah.
robbing something.
Right.
Automated customer service, like in the end that's season 2, you don't know about it. In the end
That's
she
fine.
was like for the rest of her life she has to run from the robots and like kill them and stuff, but at least she has a man that like tried to save her, but she ended up saving his ass.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
Oh, hey, at least you can own up to that.
Um,
um
yeah, so I think they all present some deadly circumstances that are like, why would you go and do that? So
you know
that's
what,
fair,
I
I
would
think.
be Snow in the Desert, because I know you didn't see that one, but I would be, because I think I would be like a superficial, artificial, like creation or like immortal being, and then I find someone else who's immortal, and we can like be together forever. My ideal relationship.
That is ideal, yeah. If you had the opportunity to make your own Love, Death, and Robots episode, which theme would you lean towards, and what would you make it about?
Oh my god, putting myself on the spot. I'm blushing. Um, yeah, it would probably be a lot of love, a lot of death, and not that much robots because I'm not that smart.
Okay.
um, uh, I would, ooh, yeah, like just, I think it would be about my life. I think I would be about my life and just like, so a lot of love and death because I'm the type of person who I'm already planning for like when I die, like in case I die super young, or like especially with COVID, you just never know. So I kind of like already have letters from my family that and people that I love in case I die suddenly or I go missing or something,
Right.
just so they can be like, of course it's not going to help, but so it would probably be something like that. Like I'm always prepared. People would say that because I'm 21. I have never been carded because people say I give off like adult energy,
Ooh.
but I don't look like an adult, and it's just a whole thing. So I think it would be good to be kind of like, and I think I would create my own like, I don't know, love story, even though I've never been in love. Just like, because when I talk to you about love, like I don't believe in love, except like when I see other people in love, I'm like, oh, that's great for them. So I guess it would be like creating my perfect or my happy ending. Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
What style of animation would you choose?
Can't draw for shit, so I would definitely have to hire someone.
Yeah, for sure.
Gosh, I think the realistic animations scare me. I think
Yes.
that's a
Yeah.
little bit too
Like Uncanny
much.
Valley type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because I would want like kids to watch it, like maybe like 12 and up, because I've met a lot of 12 and up people, like my sister is 12, so they kind of like can watch that kind of stuff and be like, because they're angsty. If you meet a 12-year-old, they're freaking angsty, and you're like,
For sure.
why? But then you look at the world and you're like, yeah, okay. Um, so I definitely would make it. I like the Pixar like old school. It would either be like a clay animation like Tim Burton is esque. Oh yeah, I love
Okay.
Tim
Yeah,
Burton.
like
Just
stop
let Tim Burton
motion.
do it. Yeah, just let him do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Not
Nightmare
even the
Before
clay. The
Christmas type of thing,
Oh
or James
God,
and the
that's
Giant
my
Peach.
favorite. That's my favorite couple. Oh my God.
Yeah, you're into
I-
the eternal couples, eh?
Listen, don't judge me,
No
okay?
judgment.
Freaking judging.
But yeah, is there anything else you'd like to talk about the series?
How much time do we have?
However much you want.
Oh, okay. Geez, I have so many notes. I don't know. Okay, so we talked about the three robots. Well, no, did you so remember the first episode? Like that was I was like, why do they not have information about like the fact that cats don't blow up?
Don't blow up.
Yeah. So in the first episode, they thought that if they stopped petting the cats that they would explode.
Right.
And the cats like I was like, why would a human give cats opposable thumbs? And how did it give them the ability to talk? Because cats are evil. I think cats are great. But like in Jamaican culture, we always talk about how cats are evil and like will suck your soul out in your sleep. And like my mom likes to say when they have sex, they sound like humans and stuff. So she's like, no.
Yeah, okay. It's funny though, because my mother's side, we're from Barbados, so also Caribbean. But
Hey.
uh because like there's no way to really tell, but people believe it's either people in the Caribbean come from Ghana or like Nigeria, but you know, the coastal regions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's funny because I meet people from those places and like they fucking hate cats, like they're
Yeah.
terrified. And so
Yeah.
when I was younger, I chalked it up to like, oh yeah, Africa, there's probably big cats that people are afraid of.
No.
But then to like later on in life realize like there's religious and like
Mm-hmm.
cultural teachings, I guess teachings might be the but stories about
Mm-hmm.
like cats just straight up being evils. It's like it's funny, but like not in a disrespectful to whatever they believe way, but funny in that like there's
Yeah.
parallels between like North American culture and how we perceive cats as like they don't really care about us. And then to see
Mm-hmm.
that how that plays out in this episode, super funny to be like, yeah, cats, they know because like there's that thing where like a cat, like your dog will respond if you speak to your dog, but
Mm-hmm.
when you speak to your cat, scientists believe like they hear you, they just don't care. So to see like, yeah, cats can actually talk, they just fucking don't like humans. Super funny.
Yeah. It's like, okay, then stay on the streets. I mean, but cats, they thrive on the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, they freaking thrive. So that one was pretty funny. And yeah, we talked about Beyond the Aquila Rift, Ice Age. We also talked about that. As I realized, I freaking don't know who Spider Man is. Apparently,
Topher Grace is
Sony.
also my favorite Spider-Man.
Isn't it the best? Like, oh my god. I would rewatch it because now it's like you have to go on certain platforms to watch it. But like when it was on demand, I'd watch it over and over and over and just like it's such a classic. It aged okay. Like I don't think it aged really bad.
Okay.
Um Sony's Edge. I was like really pissed off when that girl Wolverined her face. I was like, bitch,
Yeah.
how dare you? Oh, I was like, you freaking flirting with her, such a freaking cock tease. Damn. Um, when the yogurt took over, that I was like, that's realistic though, because the government also often I can only speak on American government because you're Canadian, so I can only yeah, your prime minister's hot, so I'm sure he follows
These
all the directions.
uh it's just as bad here, historically and currently.
Oh no, yeah, like it seems like no matter what where it is, people are really shitty to indigenous people, so you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, that is, that's what colonization is.
No, yeah, it's at its finest, honestly. It's like Christopher Columbus is like coming in his pants. He's like, "Yes,
Oh my
Trump,
god.
yes."
Oh.
But the yogurt one, um, man, yeah, it was just funny because I was like, it was season 1, so I think Trump was in office. I
Yeah.
don't know. That's a blur in my mind. I swear I blacked out. So that was kind of funny because it's true. Like the government doesn't follow directions. They tell us to follow directions, but they don't follow directions.
Right.
The Secret War was really sad, but I was glad that the son made it to whoever to
Oh
report
yeah.
to bomb the whole place.
Right.
But I was like, I hated how it had dark magic in there. That was so not realistic and not accurate at all. I don't know if any other pagans found it offensive. I didn't because it has nothing to do with my craft, but I was just like, okay, so you're blaming it on. So they had to use a woman sacrifice, and he thought, oh yeah, this tiny little talisman is going to control these big ass demons.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, dude, cool. Um,
Yeah, that episode, like the occult aspect of that episode was super uncomfortable, but yeah, really
why?
great
Because they
episode.
sacrificed a woman that was probably a
Yeah.
virgin.
Oh, yeah, gross.
What do you mean? You can't just waste virgin. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Sucker of Souls. I just loved how they did Dracula because I watched a lot of Dracula content growing up,
Mhm.
besides Twilight. Because I know you hate Twilight. It's fine. I don't know if you remember the Batman episode where it was him against versus Dracula.
No, I don't.
Oh, dude, you didn't. You're not writing down anything. So I just.
I have phenomenal memory.
Oh, excuse me. Okay, I'll believe
Mhm.
you. I know someone who had like
That's
a
why I do this
photographic
show.
memory. Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
We don't even take notes
oh.
here. I'm just kidding. Uh,
Okay,
but yeah,
fucking
you're
show
saying
off.
Batman Dracula?
Yeah, so there's a Batman Dracula. I remember it coming on. You guys have Cartoon Network, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I know, I'm sorry. I know it's a dumb question, but it's like I know because even in Jamaica, there's like certain things that don't come on or it's called something else or something.
Yeah.
So I'm just making sure. Um, but yeah, and I remember watching it and oh, it was so good. Like I don't even know. I think it's just Batman versus Dracula. I swear that's what it is. And it was the animation, so it wasn't a live action or anything like that. And I've watched like just a lot of like I've watched Blackula like this year and like I just watched a lot of vampire lore and stuff. So I found it interesting the way they perceived him. Like, oh, Blade. I think it's Blade 3 with Dracula. That was so good. Oh,
Yeah, I liked it too for that reason, that it's not like the typical like um Dracula is like in a humanoid form and being like a super handsome man who's enticing. That's how he gets his victims. It's just like this gross demon thing, essentially.
yeah, and he also wasn't like trying to sleep with everybody in the room. Like that to me is excessive. They always do that with vampires. I'm like, because I mean, I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but that was just yeah. But I did like that character who blew off the Dracula's penis. I was like, haha, that's me. Be like,
That's one thing about this series too, is there's a dick in every episode.
wait, is there? I remember
Yeah.
in the yogurt episode they ate a baby,
Oh,
but
I
is there a dick
maybe
in
there's
every
not in that
episode?
episode, but I think in every
Oh
other
no, but
episode there is.
someone was naked in that episode. I'm pretty sure. Huh, you're probably right.
Yeah, because I like when it came to the Dracula one, I was like, at this point, this is gratuitous. Like, did we need Dracula's penis?
I
But
mean, I used to call the show Love, Sex, and Robots.
ah,
So I was like, in my head, they were like, love, sex. Like, I would tell people, they were like, love, sex, and robots. What is that? And then I would have to look it up. I'm like, oh, it's love, death, and robots.
yeah,
Like, because there was so much sex. So in my head.
yeah, fair enough. Um, yeah, I think on that note, we'll wrap up here. So thank you for spending your time here and telling us about how much you love the show. But if people want to hear more from you or want to talk to you about the show, where can they find you online or you plug your podcast?
Yeah, so I have a podcast called Breaking the Cycle. It is a podcast about breaking generational trauma and talking about my life and things that are important to me. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. I will definitely, I don't know how you do like the links and stuff, but
Yeah,
I'll,
it'll be just below your
yeah.
video here.
So I have like a link tree because I made all those accounts for the first time in my life, like social media this year. So I don't know
Oh
the
wow.
names of what the handles are. So I just plugged the link tree.
Nice, right
But
on.
yeah, thank you for having me. This was so fun.
Of course, yeah. And I always tell people if they want to come back and talk about a new thing that they're, obsessed with for the moment, feel free to let me know.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
probably have sex in it.
Yeah, and for every all the listeners out there, make sure you catch our regular main show every Tuesday. Thanks.